Welcome back. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about All About Love by Bell Hooks. Let's get into it. So first, let me start by saying this book was actually recommended to me by a friend. I've read other Bell Hooks books, but not this one. And she highly recommended it, saying that it changed her perception of love and a lot of other things and ideals. So I wanted to see what it was all about. So, I bought the book and immediately could tell, okay, yeah, this is about to be one of those books. I had my notepad beside me while I was reading it because I had so many notes to take. I know I've said this a few times, but this book is like therapy in book form. It's like therapy in book form. It talks about what our idea of love is. It challenges our idea of love. It challenges our definition of love. It challenges like societal norms of how we kind of blur the lines between love and care, love and respect, love and honor, love and affection, love and intimacy, love and, insert whatever. This book talks about the romantic love, like between a person and their partner. It talks about parental and child love. It talks about societal love. It talks about platonic love. And it talks about self-love. It says all about love. And that's really what this book is about. It's all about love. But it's like a mirror. Like if this book had a mirror on the front, I'd be like, yeah. It makes you look at yourself. How are you loving others? How do you show love? How do you accept love? And where do you get your idea of love from? Where do you get your habits? Where do you get all of that from? What is it rooted in and why? Yeah. People assume that we're supposed to know how to love instinctively. And that's just not true. Like love is an act. It is a verb. It's a lot of things tied into one. You don't just wake up and know how to love people. And she's right. Like in this book, she talks about how we don't really talk about love much. And sometimes we even see it as like a weakness. Like if we bring up love, somehow it's a weakness, somehow it's a flaw, especially like newer generations. We see it as a weakness and we don't talk about it and it's omitted. And when you get into whatever type of relationship, it's kind of expected that you're supposed to know how to love properly, how to receive love, how to communicate what you need, and all of that, when that's just not true. We really do need to be putting more emphasis on LOVE. Why I spelled it out, I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, that's something I've had to actively consider as an adult. Like, people talk a lot about the 5 love languages, but when you really dive into it, why is that your love language? What's the root of that? And when they say love others how they want to be loved, are you? Like, are you truly a good friend who's showing love in a way that's being received well? Are you in healthy relationships? Are you in healthy relationships where you're able to love that person the way they want to be loved and you're receiving love that same way? As a parent, how are you loving your child? Sometimes we, like parental child and in other relationships, again, that line is drawn where we attach so many things to love, like abusive things. Like, oh, I'm doing this thing because I love you. Actually, that's really oppressive and abusive. So, but in our heads, we build those unhealthy connections. And this book just talks all about that. And I was looking at myself like, I do have some unhealthy ideas surrounding love in platonic relationships and familiar relationships, romantic relationships too. But then I thought about like, why did I choose my current spouse? Why did he choose me? How do we show each other love? How am I showing my kids love? Am I a good sister showing love in a way that I feel like they want to receive it? Am I a good friend? So many questions. Society has tended to use love in such a sloppy way. It's just it's this book really, I mean, it untangles that. It's like, look, y'all say love, but why? Why is that love? How is that love? It's not that mushy feeling that you think it is. Like, what is the nitty and the gritty? And that's what has inspired this video today, where I'm going to be talking about some questions that this book, All About Love by Bell Hooks, has made me think about and made me reflect on. And I'm going to share those 5 questions with y'all. Okay, first question: is the way that I show love communicated as an action or a feeling? And I answer this question differently depending on the type of relationship. So I can say that, like with my children, for example, I believe, and they're young, like they can kind of tell me. We talked about it a little bit, but I feel like once they get some age on them, we can have this conversation a little more clearly. They can have more thoughts about it. You know, they have more experiences to draw from. But I feel like with my kids, the way that I show love is a verb. I believe. I could be wrong. Like I said, when they get some age on them, we'll talk about it, and not just that feeling, as well as, you know, my husband and stuff like that. But there are relationships, I ain't gonna put it on blast right here, where I don't feel like I've shown love in a way that can be like Saul. Like, I don't feel like I've shown love to XYZ, this particular person, in a way that they would be able to like draw on and see clearly, like, oh, that was an act of love. So it made me, again, I had my little journal, I was jotting it down, and I actually reached out to my friend and had a good conversation about this. So that's question number 1. Question number 2: how did my childhood shape my ability to love? This was another thing that this book made me reflect on and think about. Different things in my childhood it shaped how I chose people to be around, therefore like eventually love. It shaped the type of person that I was attracted to, not just romantically, but in a friend, in a close associate, the people in my family that I'm more closer to than others. I feel like all of that can be kind of tied back to my childhood and my relationship with my actual parents. It shaped the different opinions I have of the men and the women in my life, and how those relationships are kind of bridged. It shapes, I kind of drew love, my idea of love from, at an early age, from what I saw around me, like most people do. And I feel like I can kind of see that as an adult play out with the people that I now love. Like, I can kind of see, oh yeah, I would, you know, be more drawn to this person. I did see that this is how you show love. Like, you know, that's kind of what I got. I knew XYZ, like I'm kind of showing love in the same way that I thought I received it. But then it made me challenge the love, or, you know, love that I received as a child too. This book talks about that in great detail. So yeah, really, really good. Question 3: do I associate love with suffering or sacrifice? It was a heavy question, because initially I thought no, absolutely not. I honestly, like, first thing off my mouth was no. Like, I don't associate love with sacrifice and suffering. But the more I thought of it, I was like, yes, I do. Yeah, I actually do. I did associate it with it. And I'm not saying it's always, to me, that's not always a bad thing, because I mean, sacrifices always have to be made for some reason or another. I make sacrifices for myself, you know, and other people, but it made me think about, like, how much stock do I put into that? You know what I mean? And why? And how is that tied to my faith? And how is that tied to who I think I should be as a mom, and who I think I should be as a wife, and who I should be when I'm drawing healthy boundaries in the name of self-love and self-respect? So that was a question that I feel like it took me a while to actually admit, like, yeah, you associate the two. So that one, it kind of stumped me, because I try to lie to myself low key, but you know, there's no point of that. So yeah. Number 4: am I displaying and actively participating in self-love. Like, I had to really think about that because, again, I think self-love equates to self-care, and that's not always the case. I had to really like think about me and the act of loving myself. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this book will have you thinking about that. I really had to think about me loving myself and what that looks like and why. Why would I? Why haven't I at times? And really try to get to the bottom of that and really flesh it out. I'm telling you, after I read Don't Cry For Me and Isaac's song, I really was like, I'm going to get back to journaling because I used to journal a lot and I stopped. But it's been helpful. So I was journaling about that. How am I displaying self-love at times when I haven't? Why is that? Do I feel like I'm worthy of it? Why not? Things like that. So that kind of prompted a lot of those journal entries as well. And lastly, do I, in all love type relationships, do I feel like I'm deserving and worthy of love? I know it sounds like it's a no-brainer, but this book, I'm telling you, there's some deep-seated ideas that we have surrounding love that this book literally challenges. And I was thinking like, I do sell myself short a lot of times on a lot of things, but like when it comes to love, do I feel like I'm worthy of it? And like, let me give you an example. In my marriage, I feel like I'm worthy of love. I feel like we reciprocate is great, whatever. But in some friendships, I find myself not, I find myself putting like my marriage and my motherhood in one box where I'm like, yeah, this is this. But in other ways, and maybe some familiar relationships like my sisters, I kind of segment away from the rest of my family. But I'm like, do I feel like they should love me? Do I feel like I should love them? Like, do I feel that reciprocity? And do I even feel worthy of it? So I was writing about that. There are some relationships where I discovered, and I would have known early if I opened my eyes, that I actually don't feel like I'm worthy of their display of love or like their genuine love. So this book right here, it was like a therapy session, I'm telling you, but cheaper. It only cost me the price of this book, a pencil, and my notebook. That's it. Now, yeah, so to sum it all up, love is not a feeling. It takes work. You have to love yourself. It takes accountability, vulnerability. It takes honesty. So much. And you gotta be real. Like, where did you draw your idea of love from? Like, for real. And sometimes you don't want to hear it. Some of the things that I thought about, I didn't want to hear. I wanted to be like, oh, that's why I do that. Oh, I got that from my daddy. Yeah. Oh, I got that from my mama. Oh, yeah, that time in 6th grade. And that's why. Okay, yeah. And you don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. But it's therapy, man. I'm telling you, this book was so good. I'm so glad that my friend recommended this to me because even if I would have read it, it wouldn't have been soon. Like, I put it to the front of my list because she actually recommended it to me. But I feel like I read it at the perfect time. I feel like this time in this space where I'm at, I'm able to kind of unpack a lot of those things. I'm able to, where I sit in a lot of my relationships, I feel like this was the perfect time to read this book, which made me think. I saw a post on Instagram that said that books won't let you read them until you're ready. And I was ready for this, like right now. I don't know if I would have got as much as I would have got out of it at a different point in time. This was right on time. It was spot on. It was reflective. It was introspective. It was unnerving at times because you had to, again, look inward. And yeah, it took a lot out of me. Not took a lot out of me. It made me put a lot of effort into reading it because, again, I was journaling, I was rereading, I was applying it to me, I was applying it to other people, and I was sharing the things that I learned with the people I'm closest to. So what else, man? This video, it deserved its own video. This book deserved its own video, and that's why I'm here. Self-love, you need that. You deserve that. And if you don't think you do, unpack that. But start by reading this book. That's it, y'all. I don't want to keep you here all day. But yeah, those are the things that All About Love by Bell Hooks made me think about. And I'm glad I read it. I feel like this was the perfect time to read it. If you read this, let me know what you think. If you haven't read it, let me know if it's on your TBR. Please read this. Please. All right, y'all. See you later.